Howdy folks, and welcome back to World of Tanks with the Mighty Jingles. Today I am at long last going to be taking a look at this little monster, the E-25 German Tier 7 Premium Tank Destroyer. Now, if you don't want to sit here waiting and listen to me blather on about the tank and looking at the stats of the thing in the garage, you just want to get straight to the action, yeah, that's fine. Totally understand. Pop-up appearing on screen right now, and there's also a time code in the video description. Click on either one of them and you'll go straight to the gameplay in the video. Off you go. Okay, they've gone. Now it's just us. This machine, the E-Series development of German tanks. You've got the E-25, the E-50, the E-75, the E-100. The whole point behind this E-Series of tanks was just to standardise manufacture and construction of German armoured fighting vehicles. So, for example, instead of having a whole bunch of different tank destroyers being made in different factories with different expertise being used on each of them, they would only have the one tank destroyer that they were building. So instead of having machines like the Stug, the Hetzer, or the Panzerjäger 38T to give it its proper name, the Nashorn, the Ferdinand, the Jagdpanther, machines like this, they would all German industry would just be building E-25 tank destroyers, and the same with the E-50. Instead of building Panthers and Panzer IVs and so on, they would just be building E-50s and E-75s for the heavy tanks and so on, in order to standardise manufacture, so that any workforce in any factory could build any one of these vehicles. That was the whole point. And for tank destroyers, the E-25 was it. It never actually, they never even built a prototype of these things. It was design blueprints only. And looking at this thing on paper, before I had a chance to drive it, I couldn't see this thing being very good. But again, this is one of those machines where the paper stats just do not tell you the whole story. And the reason why I couldn't see this thing being very good was because of the gun. It uses that 75mm Pak 42 L70 cannon that you also get down here at Tier 5 on the Stug 3. And that's a fantastic gun on the Stug. But the Stug's Tier 5. This is a Tier 7 tank destroyer. And I just couldn't see it being effective. Oh, how wrong could I be? It was the same deal when I looked at the IS-6. I thought the armour of the IS-6 on paper looked rubbish, but it's the angling and the sloping of the armour that makes the IS-6 work. And this, while technically it is exactly the same gun that you get on the Stug, it's really not the same gun at all. Have a look at the damage per minute. 1,800 damage per minute using that gun on the Stug. 2,700 damage per minute using that gun on the E-25. The reason is because of the rate of fire. As you can see, they're both gun 7.5cm Pak 42 L70. But here on the Stug, it has 13.33 rounds per minute. Now, that's not bad. 20 rounds per minute on the E-25. That's the difference. That's a shot every 3 seconds. That's phenomenal. It has exactly the same damage and penetration, 150 penetration, 135 damage, because it's the same gun. But it's while it had fantastic accuracy and aiming time on the Stug, 0.33 accuracy and 1.7 seconds aiming time, it's even better on the E-25. 0.3 accuracy and a 1.5 second aiming time. It's phenomenally quick to aim, very accurate, and rapid firing. It's like driving an ELC AMX with an auto cannon. It's so much fun to drive. Did I say it was like driving an ELC AMX? Well, yeah, have a look at the stats. 830 hit points. Now, this is a tiny little machine. Let's have a look at the other German Tier 7 tank destroyer. The Jagdpanther. That has 850 hit points. It's only 20 hit points more. Well, look at the size difference. It's tiny. The, I still don't know how to pronounce the name of this thing. The 5, also 850 hit points, and it's massive. This thing is quite little. In fact, let's have a look at an ELC AMX. Where is that little monster? They're almost almost the same size. And as far as mobility goes, get a load of this. This thing only weighs, well, with my equipment set up, 26.75 tons, and it has a 700 horsepower engine. This thing will do 65 kilometers per hour, and it reaches that speed in a heartbeat. It is so fast to accelerate. The traverse speed, 44 degrees per second. There are light tanks in the game that wish they could turn as quickly and move as quickly as this little beast. Of course, it doesn't have any armour whatsoever. 50mm at the front, 30 at the sides and rear. And yet, while you should never count on the armour of this thing to keep you safe, well, let's have a look at the Hetzer, the Tier 4 tank destroyer, and you can see that it pretty much looks like a sort of flattened and squashed version of the Hetzer. And anybody who's had the misfortune of firing at the Hetzer from the front will know just how bouncy the front of this thing can be. Well, it's the same with the E25, but even more so, because it's a smaller, flatter, even more sloped target. So you should never count on the armour. I mean, something with 50mm at the front, 30 at the sides and rear, you shouldn't count on the armour to protect you, but you will be surprised at the amount of shots that will bounce off the front of this thing, just when you really don't want them to. View range, again, not bad, 360 metre view range for such a small, closed-top vehicle. You don't expect a machine as low profile and sneaky as this to have that good a view range. I mean, that's the sort of view range that you associate with open-topped tank destroyers. And a very, very good 710 metre signal range too. But I still had lingering doubts about that 75mm gun, because at the end of the day it's still the Stug 3's 75mm gun, Tier 5 tank destroyer, and you can buff the rate of fire all you like. If you can't penetrate because you only have 150mm of penetration, then all you're doing is failing to penetrate more often than with the same gun on the Stug. But I really needn't have worried. Because of the accuracy buff and the aiming time, you can aim for weak spots. If you have to shoot at the front of Tiger 2s with this thing, and you will from time to time have to shoot at the front of Tiger 2s with this thing, you can hit his weak spots. It's accurate enough. And the low alpha damage of 135 average damage doesn't really matter, because you pump the shots out so fast and so often. And that's one of the other advantages that this thing has over the Stug, because it carries a lot of ammunition. 60 shells. The Stug, I've lost games in the Stug because I ran out of ammo. The Stug only carries 36. I've had games in the Stug that have been going great, and I've racked up loads of kills, and then I was the last one left alive, and I was out of ammo, and I just couldn't kill any more tanks. That doesn't happen in the E25, because it gets a good ammo load as well, 60 shots. This little thing is so much fun to drive. It is quite literally like driving an ERC AMX with an autocannon. It fires that quickly, and it is that fast and manoeuvrable. One of these little things will set you back 6,700 gold, and that's roughly equivalent to 2.5 months worth of premium account time. Now, don't expect it to make as much money, for example, as a Tier 8 premium like the Jagdtiger 88 or the Löwe. But it will make you a substantial amount of money, because it does get a credit bonus, not as much as a Tier 8 premium. But it's not the credit bonus that is going to make the money in this thing, it's the sheer amount of destruction that you wreak upon the enemy team in it. Because that's what gets you credits and XP, doing lots and lots and lots of damage. And you will do that if you're even halfway competent at driving your E25. It's also cheap as chips to run, because the ammunition only costs you 109 credits per shot. Yeah, fire as much as you like. It's not going to cost you anything. This thing is very cheap to run. It does immense amounts of damage to the enemy team. It earns a lot of money. Now, as far as equipment fit goes, it doesn't really need a gun rammer. It fires a shot every 3 seconds anyway, but firing a shot faster than every 3 seconds is always good, so yeah, go ahead and fit a gun rammer. It's a closed-top vehicle, so you're going to get the benefit from improved ventilation for an extra 5% to all crew skills. For your third choice, if you can afford it, well, I've put a camo net on because they're cheap, and so am I, and I had a spare camo net, and that's not a bad idea. Right? This is a very, very sneaky little machine, in the same way that the Hetzer is and the Stug. However, I think you are probably going to get more benefit from coated optics or binocular telescope. Again, if you've got spare binocular telescopes, because that is not a complex piece of equipment, you can demount it and stick it on other vehicles if you wish, and it doesn't cost you anything to do it. Binocular telescope, if you have a spare one lying around, not a bad idea to put one on this thing. It does get a 360 meter view range, but an extra 25% when you're stationary is not bad. And there will be situations where you're playing this thing like a traditional tank destroyer, sitting in ambush and letting the rest of your team go ahead and spot for you. And the extra view range from the binocular telescope is good. But if you have the money, I think you're going to get much more benefit out of the coated optics. Coated optics, complex equipment. Once you fit them to the machine, you have to pay gold to take them off. But you keep the view range bonus of 10% all times, even when you're moving. And this thing is just so fast. Sitting still, you're just wasting the potential of this little thing. It loves to roam. Let it off the leash. Have fun with it. Coated optics, in my opinion, better choice than binocular telescopes. As far as crew skills go, they're irrelevant. You are never going to be using your own crew on the E25. It's a premium vehicle. It will take any other German tank destroyer crew. You will not have to retrain them. For example, at the moment I've got my Jagdtiger crew in here. Note it says there, the crew member does not have specialisation on the E25, but he can use his skills and perks because he's a German tank destroyer crewman, and that's the way premium vehicles work. And one of the other, not so much advertised, I don't really want to call it a hidden benefit, but it's one of the benefits of running premium vehicles. So for example, I can take any German tank destroyer crew, I could take the Stug crew and stick them in the E25. I wouldn't have to retrain them on the E25. I could play a whole bunch of E25 games, or just play one E25 game until I get my daily double crew XP for my Stug crew on the E25, put them back in the Stug, play again until I get my first win of the day on the Stug, double crew XP again. And that's one of the benefits of running a premium vehicle. But I can tell you're not convinced yet. I can tell you're sitting there thinking, oh, I don't know, Jingles. I mean, yeah, it looks like a nice machine, but that gun, it's still, it's still that 75mm gun that you first get at Tier 5. I mean, how good can it be at Tier 7? Oh, ye of little faith. Watch and learn. Sometimes you get into one of those games that is